past 9 years, 8 years as Attorney General and 1 as Governor, I've tried to uphold a vision of progressive politics that would rebuild New York and create opportunity for all. We sought to bring real change to New York, and that will continue. Today, I want to briefly address a private matter. I have acted in a way that violates my obligations to my family and that violates my or any sense of right and wrong. I apologize first and most importantly to my family. I apologize to the public, whom I promise better. I do not believe that politics in the long run is about individuals. It is about ideas, the public good, and doing what is best for the state of New York. But I am disappointed and failed to live up to the standard I expected of myself. I must now dedicate some time to regain the trust of my family. I will not be taking questions. Thank you very much. I will report back to you in short order. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Josh Marshall from TPMtv. It's Tuesday, March 11th, 2008. As you can see, that was our very unhappy Governor Eliot Spitzer speaking yesterday to the press just after news came out that he had been implicated in a prostitution ring that he had been apparently spending very large sums of money on for their call girls. Now, Spitzer made his name as a no-nonsense and very aggressive Attorney General in New York. So the political implications of his being caught in not only soliciting, but possibly also what's called structuring, which is a monetary banking crime. The political implications are pretty straightforward. But a lot of you have asked, how exactly did this come about? How did the federal government end up investigating the governor of New York on these kind of charges? Well, we're going to give you a quick rundown of what seems to have happened. Now, not everybody knows this, but banks in the United States have the responsibility to report various kinds of transactions to the IRS, to the federal government. That can be any transaction over $10,000 or any series of transactions that look suspicious based on a number of different criteria. Now, at some point last year, Governor Spitzer was moving fairly large sums of money between his bank accounts and then sending some of it on, apparently, to what seemed to be shell companies. And this led to a relatively routine referral to the IRS about these financial transactions. Now, when the IRS saw this, and they saw that it was the governor of New York moving money around in what seemed to be a suspicious manner, the first thing that came to mind to them was bribery, that this was some kind of financial political corruption. So they turned the case over to the Public Integrity Division at the Justice Department. They're the ones who investigate political corruption around the country and bring those charges. Now, in relatively short order, they found out that this wasn't bribery, it wasn't actually connected to his public service. He was using this money for call girls. Now, based on this information, apparently in early January, the feds got a series of warrants to investigate this prostitution ring, and on February 13th, they finally caught Governor Spitzer making a series of calls to set up another rendezvous, this time in Washington, D.C. Now, that led pretty quickly to the events of yesterday, and in a special nice touch, Governor Spitzer arranged this tryst on February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. Now, the governor is married and has 3 daughters, and not only did he arrange the tryst on the 13th, but the next day he was on CNBC in the morning and testifying before Congress later that day. So pretty much all in a day's work for Governor Spitzer. Now, one of the things that came out in Spitzer's court documents is that when you're working with prostitutes at this high up in the stratosphere, this expensive, even the financing can be fairly complicated. A lot of the back and forth with Governor Spitzer was trying to find out how much credit that he had left over from the previous assignation that he could apply to this new one, then whether his down payment for the new tryst had arrived in time, and then later there seemed to be overpayment for the tryst that got him in trouble, so he would have more of a backlog, more of a credit the next time he wanted to meet a prostitute again. Now, before these very unfortunate events transpired yesterday for Governor Spitzer, what we were going to bring you today was news about tonight's Mississippi primary. Now, this is the last primary for about 6 weeks. It's Mississippi, Democratic primary. Barack Obama favored in most of the polls, maybe not as overwhelmingly as some of the recent states, but still seems to be clearly in the lead. People expect Barack Obama to do well, and we will be covering the results starting right here at talkingpointsmemo.com at 8 p.m. So join us. I'm Josh Marshall from TPM Media, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.